Welcome to the full disclosure of illegal, discriminatory preconditions that companies use when hiring individuals. First of all, I will be examining myself in this process. As a grandmaster computer, printer, TV technician of over 15 years, and a digital production grandmaster of over 25 years, I am more well than qualified for any jobs listed. By examining myself first, I want to disclose that I am not employed by someone, or a company rather. You would think that with my experience, a company would hire me right away. But because they are putting preconditions before the employment, which are illegal and they are discriminatory, I am not hired. Their discriminatory reasons have no relevance to my ability to perform the job or anyone else. I'm just using me as a test subject so that you understand the reality of these illegal discriminatory preconditions. Even when you choose not to submit to their preconditions, drug tests, background check, credit check, they will not hire you or not consider you because you won't submit yourself to these preconditions. These preconditions, again, are discriminatory. They are looking in your past to determine whether to hire you, as opposed to your qualifications and your experience. Whatever a person has done in their past, that's their business. If they were arrested for any reason or served any time, if they have served their time and the court system, state system, whatever lets them out, then they have served their time, and whatever they've done in their past is their business. So these companies are discriminating against your past and holding it against you. As a human being in this society, you need two major things to sustain or function. You need air, oxygen, first of all, and you need money. Money is before all other resources. So when a person that has a felony serves their time and they come back out into society and companies continue to hold this against them, this person still needs to function. They still need food. They still need shelter, clothes, maybe mobility, a car. Without money, they can't function. Checking someone's past and determining whether they have something or don't have something is not a confirmed indicator that if they've done something or been arrested, that they will do something. And there is no confirmed, there may be statistics, but there are no confirmation that a person that hasn't done something will do something. Okay? Basically, these are preconditions that are discriminatory, that are put upon people and holding their past against them. So as I examine the realities of people's past being held against them, as we are a nation of many cliches where people say, don't let your past ruin your future. Much of this is being done by the employers, whereby they discriminate against you, and there is no law that is requiring these companies to require a drug test, background check, or credit check. This is their option. This is their choice. This is not something that they are legally bound to do. As a person of my experience as a technician and as a digital production grandmaster and as a grandmaster technician, like I said, you would think that I should have been scooped up, I should have been hired right away. But let me examine another thing. As far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna use certain terms. First of all, that an employer does not exist. They are a customer. They pay for your services. The money is going from them to you, which means they're buying your services and your experience. So they are no longer, as far as I'm concerned, an employer. There is no hiring, as far as I'm concerned. I use the word start because unfortunately, I have to use the word hiring for this example, but when they hire you, they ask you when can you start. Okay, so there's a start and a stop. When a person is producing satisfactory work at a position, there may be several reasons why they may stop, but in most cases, if the person is producing satisfactory work, then there is no reason, and they're being paid, there is no reason for them to stop. Now there are other issues where you have asshole managers, micromanagers that are insecure in their ability to perform their own function, as opposed to them being standing around and watching somebody else work. It's their insecurity, and it's a hostile environment where you're being harassed about doing your work. I have also noticed that managers will harass and push their most productive person, and the people that are being lazy or not doing anything, they don't address that. That is their insecurity. But getting back to the fact that employers are customers and they pay for your services. Now, when you go to an interview, it's not an interview, it's an interrogation. They're going to ask you a lot of irrelevant questions as opposed to being focused on your ability to perform the job. Much of the technology that's being used today, I've seen emails where people want me to do instant messaging interviews, online interviews, everything but actually calling the person and actually having them come in and talk to them. Well, my position is, as it stands right now, to me, there's no such thing as an interview. My credentials, I no longer have a resume. It's not called a resume, it's called my credentials. Because if you're hiring, just like when a company hires or goes out to uses the yellow pages and they go and they hire an electrician, or they pay for their services, they don't sit down and interview that electrician and ask them and interrogate them and ask them if they know how to wire the building or do whatever they need to do. They negotiate the price if necessary, and the person gets the job and they move on to the next one. I am no different in that. My ability to do the work is not in question, but yet, and all with my level of experience, they want to play these politics games to hire someone. So this is why you have a lot of people that are unemployed, because they're just not willing to go through the bullshit to get a job. Now, who decided that the interview and hiring somebody is supposed to be a big deal? I'm going to give you my example of how, if I had my own company, I'm going to give you my example of an interview, and it wouldn't really be an interview, because see, I don't play by the rules in this stupid country and these stupid people. So I don't play by. I can think for myself, so I can play by the rules. So I don't play by the rules. So here's what I would, if I were going to interview somebody, and like I said, it's not going to really be an interview, but anyway, this is what I would say. If they came in, I'd say, look, I got your resume, I got your credentials, you've obviously got experience. This is not going to be a typical interview. Actually, this is not even going to be an interview. I'm not going to be asking you a lot of questions. Okay, my main concern is can you do the work? You've got the experience. There may be some equipment here that you may not be used to. That's not a problem. We'll get you familiar with it, get you acclimated with it, and get you started. Not get you hired, get you started. Okay, so I want to tell them to relax. This is not going to be some crazy, you're going to be on pins and needles whether I'm going to hire you or not. Okay, it's not even about hiring you. It's whether you can get started. Okay, I'm going to allow progress to progress, as opposed to in this society where they're always putting obstacles in front of the main thing that people need to function is money. and I want to pay people well enough so that they won't want to look anywhere else, and I don't want to harass them while they're on the job. If they're producing the work satisfactory, that's where my focus is as an employer. That's where my focus should be. I'm concerned about results. So when I meet that person, I'm going to tell them, look, I'm not going to do a background check, a credit check, and there's going to be no drug testing here. Okay, whatever you've done in your past, that's your business. It's not my business. My main business is my business, and it's to focus on my business. We're going to get you started right away. If you are producing satisfactory results, then there is no reason for you to stop. Okay, so I'm going to again tell them, just relax. And I'm going to ask them, when can you get started? Can you get started tomorrow? When can you get started? I want to start them immediately. I don't want to waste a lot of time doing all this background credit check. And why am I looking for that? To hold something against them? Okay, so if a person was in a relationship, I'm not even going to use marriage. If a person was in a relationship and it didn't work out, then I could hold that against them. Okay, why would I want to do that? But again, we're in a very stupid, insecure society, and when you have insecurity, you have people that overcompensate or try to compensate for the insecurity by trying to control people. Okay, it's always an issue of control and money and power. These are all issues of ego and insecurity. I don't have any insecurities. As a martial artist of as a self-trained martial artist of over 25 years, I fully understand the dynamics and the human nature. Okay, so I'm not going to play any games with these people. If they want my grandmaster experience, then they're going to have to pay for it. They're not going to, and I'm not going to sit down in front of some interrogation, and you may have experienced it. You sit in an interview and they make it seem like you have to rise to their standards. They need you more than you need them, because these companies can't exist without people. If you look at a major retail company, if they could manufacture robots to do the same work as people, or fully automate their business, they would never hire anybody. And they could work, and they could use these robots until they break, or the automated system until they break, but you're still going to have to have somebody come in and fix it. It was created by humans. It's going to have to be fixed by humans. Okay, so but if they could create a system where they didn't need humans, they would do it. But they need you. Now, you may need them as well. It's a codependent system. Okay, you need money to function in this society. Without it, you can't function properly. When a person steals, they steal because they don't have their own. Most people who have a job don't steal and go to work. Okay, a person that steals is a person that is in a destitute position, that there are jobs that are out there, but the illegal discriminatory preconditions that prevent people from being employed and making money so that they can provide for themselves are used, and then they don't hire you for these irrelevant reasons. So like I said, if you have a person that may have a felony, when they've served their time and they're back out in the system and they're looking for employment, and no one is hiring, and they've gone to numerous interviews, and then when their background is checked, they say you have a felony. Well, the damn person already knows they got a damn felony. Okay, but that is not a confirmed indicator that that person will repeat anything or do something else. There are people that have been employed that have no arrest or no criminal record, and they go and do something. So the bottom line is that these illegal discriminatory preconditions are solely voluntary actions by these employers, and in many cases they are not getting the quality of skills and resources and experience, because they're using preconditions that go before this person. In other words, they're putting something before your resume or your  and making a judgment. So if that's the case, then if I don't have the experience, but I've never been arrested, I basically just fell out of the womb, then you should be able to hire me. Because if that's what you're using as a precondition, as a criteria, then I should be hired, because that's what you're basing your criteria